How much was it? Like first investment?
It was small, so it was about 25 lakhs.
That's a huge.
What are the elements that you think you look for in a business plan?
Assumptions.
हेलो दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका टफ स्टोरी के एक छोटे से पार्ट में जो हमारे बड़े पॉडकास्ट का एक स्पेशल हाईलाइट है। अगर आपको ये क्लिप पसंद आए तो पूरा पॉडकास्ट जरूर देखें, लिंक आपको मिल जाएगी डिस्क्रिप्शन एरिया के अंदर। चलिए शुरू करते हैं।
And when did you start your VC thing? Because यहाँ पे पैसे की जरूरत है and you started off as an angel investor. The whole company which you're running now is a 2000 recently opened company. But when did you start off? और घर से पैसा लिया था या कैसे शुरुआत की?
One more track is why ISB? Why not something in the US?
See, I think that's a good question. Because I already had exposure to the US, and US usually has this 2 years MBA, right? ISB gave this amazing 11-month, so your opportunity cost, etc. If you sum up, it's not too bad. So that was the idea, right? But yeah, normally if I didn't have international exposure, I would have considered other places, like even in CIAD or something. So that was the. Coming back to your thing, very interestingly, so I started my whole thing at ISB when I was a student. I debt funded a startup in the clean energy space. It was run by my alum. So one of my school friends, who's a businessman himself in Hyderabad, and I together gave them money.
So debt fund means vyaj.
Against interest, correct. Vyaj, against a decent interest because there's higher risk. So not like my gold one, but a higher one, right? And I got the courage because my friend participated in it. So both of us together gave them money.
How much was it? Like first investment?
It was small, so it was about 25 lakhs.
That's
right?
a huge. He's comparing it with the current his numbers
Correct.
of current
Yes,
line,
and also it was against a letter of intent. So they had, I think Taj or someone given them a PO.
Okay.
Right. So they had to fulfill that. So there was very little risk.
So it was more like a business credit which he needed. I mean, working capital.
Correct. Working capital, but obviously banks and all have their own.
They wouldn't give it
easily.
Compared to the current world, अभी दे देते हैं.
Correct. Even now they have their own requirement, but still, yeah. So we gave them, and in fact we were very keen on the business. We wanted to actually be part of it. We wanted to be involved more. We wanted to convert our money into equity and all that. But it so happened they won an award at a Thai event, and a term sheet from such an event, and they gave us the same term sheet. And we said that's not fair. You can't give me something that's like a award thing, right? I mean, people are standing on stage and giving you some term sheet which is not the correct term sheet. So that's where it didn't work out. Then I was part of some angel networks, doing very small investments, and these are really small, so let's say 2-4 lakhs, etc. And learn, I mean, just being part of it. But I had my own edtech startup, so that is what was keeping me busy, raising money for that, etc. That was the learning experience, I think. So
you're raising money, you're also investing in others?
That was the itch, but this was the main thing, right?
Okay.
What did you major in ISB?
Marketing and strategy.
And did you feel you learned a lot of things that you would not have gotten so obvious, or did you learn a lot of non-obvious things?
Oh yeah, I think the ability of frameworks, right, was something that
Mental frameworks?
In general, the whole idea of structuring things was much better. I think the pedagogy of ISB is pretty smart, right? It's though hurried up, but it's pretty smart. So that learning was, very good with me. I think it equipped me a lot more from where I was. And today, in fact, I do teach at some B schools. So I give back what I learned there. And Yeah, so I think that way it was pretty helpful. And so like for example, B plan, right? I mean, most people stay away from a business plan, especially founders who are techies and all.
I was going to say that.
But I love it. And today I tell people, right, without the business plan, you're not doing anything, right? You might have it in your head, but you have to put it in Excel for me to appreciate it.
What are the elements that you think you look for in a business plan?
Assumptions.
That's the. What are the ways in which it can horribly go wrong?
No, so see, you are telling me, hey, you'll do 500 crores in 5 years, right? It's okay. I mean, you might do or you might not do. What is important is what are the assumptions on which you are basing that number, right? That is most critical. Right?
But isn't that most risky? Because जब आप pawn shop business की बात कर रहे थे, जहाँ पर if you are giving money to someone, you would actually look at his credibility, look at his goodwill, look at his past and presume that अगर मैं इसको 1 लाख दे रहा हूँ तो रॉन्ग वर्ड राइट वर्ड नो औकात है कि नहीं वापस देने की, इतना हम उस समय में चेक करते थे.
हम वो सब नहीं करते थे, हम गोल्ड लेते थे,
बस उसके अगेंस्ट आप दे देते थे.
इन जनरल नो, वी हैड रेफरेंस चेक्स एंड ऑल.
समटाइम्स दे टेक मोर मनी, राइट?
No, we that's what I told you. Dad's principal 70%.
Okay,
you couldn't cross 70%.
So collateral was the value was not more than 70% of the gold value.
The collateral value is 100 rupees. We could give max 70
rupees. Okay,
so that was how it was.
So in that case, आप totally risk free business run कर रहे थे, and now you are going purely on
unless
projections.
if gold value goes down.
No, but right now you are saying we purely give even any number based on projection. So isn't it like mentally?
No, I don't give any number. I am saying he asked me what's the most critical thing I look for in a business plan. I said assumptions, right? So I say I will debate the rest of the Excel. Right, your sales plan and all are based on these. Now, if these are right or wrong is what I want to understand, right? So I dig deeper there, right? The rest of the Excel, I see many guys outsource this to a CA, right? I'm like, that's the worst thing to do, right? Because those guys will have a cookie cutter method. They'll put in some numbers and show it to you. As soon as I see such a big plan, I know that it's from a CA.
What are the telltale signs of a cookie cutter?
No, that's what. So they have this amazing numbers coming up. So basically what they do is they will say they want a valuation of, let's say, 1,000 crores at the end of 3 years. Now they work backwards. Right. I'm like, okay, boss, Analysts also do that, by the way, right? One of my founders, like for sales also, he does that. He wants to reach, let's say, 10 crore sales. So he will start backtracing and saying, I'm like, ऐसे नहीं होता है, राइट?
उम्मीद है ये वीडियो आपके लिए यूजफुल और इंटरेस्टिंग रहा होगा. इस वीडियो को लाइक करना ना भूलें और टफ स्टोरी को यूट्यूब और सारे सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म पर फॉलो और सब्सक्राइब भी जरूर कर दीजिए. पूरा पॉडकास्ट देखने के लिए लिंक मैंने डिस्क्रिप्शन एरिया में दे दी है, जहां पर जाकर जरूर चेक करें. सो ये था एक काफी इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियो और मैं आपसे मिलता हूं हमारे अगले वीडियो में. तब तक के लिए गुड बाय.